Hi, Crystal. Okay, so again, law of navigation. I was so excited reading this, and so I was just going to kind of go over a couple of things for the law of navigation. The kind of, one-liner is anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. Hi, lady.
Hi.
First-rate navigators always have in mind that other people are depending on them and their ability to chart a good course. These are key things. And the secret to the law of navigation is preparation. When you prepare well, you convey confidence and trust to people. Leaders who are good navigators are capable of taking their people just about anywhere. So I know in this team, and I'm sure just about every team, we focus a lot on having the why that makes you cry and the dream board and making those goals and hanging the goals on your doors and in front of your computer so you can constantly be reminded of where you're going. So this is where law of navigation comes into play. We use that, we're not that name it and claim it where I'm going to be a diamond and so therefore I'm going to be a diamond. No, but we want to get that clear target in focus so we can start taking the necessary steps and practice to reach and aim and direct our arrows towards that target. If we don't have a goal, if we don't have a target, we're just going to be shooting everywhere and it's going to be chaos. And I think that is disastrous, and it's kind of an epidemic in an MLM business. We're a hot mess and we don't know what we're doing, so we just kind of do a little bit of everything and hope that we get somewhere, and it just doesn't work that way. It can be every once in a while there's that accident, that fluke, but for the most part, you have to be determined. You have to take necessary steps to get there. And so, and sometimes it requires a lot of practice, and sometimes it requires changing goals. And so with this study, like when Mom and I were starting to talk about this study and who we wanted to ask to be speakers, which we're so excited for all the speakers and so thankful that they're willing to invest in our team this way. But we started looking at each of the laws in particular and trying to think of who, kind of fit where, or who was good at what, or who had a natural challenge or ability or gift in a certain thing. And immediately when I read the law of navigation, I'm like, Cheryl Wood is our girl. So I reached out to her just on a limb, like, please, can you share with us your ways? The first time I went on a Zoom call with Cheryl Wood, I was like with my notebook writing everything down, and she's bringing out these boards and lists and dream boards, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this girl. My type A was like in Candyland, So she has the gift for that. And what happens when you have a gift like that is exactly what it says here. When you prepare well, you convey confidence and trust to your people. So here she is, she mapped her course and her people are following. She's almost emerald. So I'm so thankful, Cheryl, that you were willing to invest in us and share your gifts with us. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to take all the notes. I was going to talk as least as I could so that you have all the time you want. So I think Mom was going to pray to get us started, and then she'll open it up and it'll be good. I'm excited.
First of all, really quickly, I want to ask, is there anybody that has a prayer request? Just unmute yourself. Yes.
Because we are recording, I'm not going to name any names, but if you guys could just pray for me, and I'll know who it's for, and God will know who it's for. So thank you. I love you.
Anybody else? All right, let's take it.
Sorry.
Rachel, go ahead.
Yeah. A couple things. One, I got my dental report back today, which is my big why, is to be able to pay for dentist.
Okay.
And it's a lot worse than originally thought. So could use prayer for that. And then for my husband as well, as he's having some more major memory lapses with his MS. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
A friend of mine I just saw share on Facebook, her husband actually just passed away today. They're a younger couple, so that's got to be pretty detrimental for them.
Okay. All right, let's take a knee. Oh, Mandy,
Sorry.
yeah,
Everyone
Mandy.
we found out that there's now 3 family members trying to get our twins,
Okay.
and it looks like one of them is really going to get them. So just for peace and wisdom and all of that, obviously I don't really have a say, and I'm just thankful that we trust the sovereign God, that I can be at complete peace knowing that's going to happen the way it's supposed to, but it's still just hard thinking of saying goodbye. So
Is that Mandy?
That would be hard. Okay, anybody else?
No, but Mom, will you make sure everybody's muted? I think I
Okay.
hear a little feedback.
Okay. I think we're good. All right, here we go. Lord, we just thank you so much that you are a sovereign God and that you love us so much. We know that you know all things. So the unspoken prayer requests that we have, you already know, and you're already at work, and we're thankful for that. And we lift up Rachel and her dental issues. My family can identify with that a lot, but you can even intervene in that. And so I pray that you would do so with that, and also for her husband, Nate. Thank you for the marriages that are represented here. Bless them, all the unions that are represented here. I pray for Mandy, that you would have your way in that whole situation. And I'm so thankful that she has a heart for people, little ones that are hurting, and just takes them into her home and into her heart, knowing full well the possibility that they might move on to another family. So Lord, comfort her, give her family peace, and restore anything that she might feel has burdened her. We just love Mandy. And then I also pray for the family who they lost their husband. Absolutely tragic, and only you and your grace can carry families through these hard situations. So we thank you for that. Thank you for the women that are on here. Bless them and use them. Let them be willing vessels in whatever way that you would ask. I pray that you would be with Cheryl, give her a voice, give her wisdom. We thank you for her, and we pray an extra special blessing for her too. And so as we learn from her, may we be able to recall and receive the things that she shares with us. And we just ask you this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. Are you going to introduce her?
Well, I did. This is Cheryl. She's amazing. She just signed on for her house, right, Cheryl?
Yes.
Oh, you guys are getting your house, which is beautiful. So she's awesome. Senior Ruby, almost Emerald, ambassador, and just amazing. I've gotten to sit with her several times and explaining so much awesomeness. She oozes it. So yes, so thank you, Cheryl, so much for doing this for us, and I can't wait to take all these notes.
I just adore all of you and you two girls for being so welcoming. I just love you both. And if it wasn't for Plexus, we never would have met. And I just adore you. And I'm so, so grateful for so many blessings from this business. I can't even explain how many surprise blessings, right? Like all the surprises that come from it. So thank you for even asking me to do this, for having me on here. This is totally where my heart comes to life. I think God has big, huge plans. And I like to say, so we're supposed to be like the navigator of our ship and everything. And I like to say, okay, so God is like the captain and maybe I'm the co-pilot with my like plans. Like, here's what I want, right? But ultimately he's like the one like really steering the ship. So, and I always imagine like if the ship's going somewhere, I'm sure the captain and the co-pilot sit down and go, okay, here's where we're going. The water's got this way. We're going to do this and chart this. So I'm like, I got to sit with God and spend time with him and be like, okay, am I going the right way? Should I be pushing for this? And really just be open to what God really wants for your business. So in my head, I was going to be Emerald in like January, right? Like that's the plan that I had. But I'm like, okay, God, I'm just going to grow and continue to learn, and whatever it is, that's your plan. So like Rossi was saying, I'm a huge believer in having the big vision and the big dreams. I'm always that way with my life, with everything. I can see things farther in the future. And that's something that everyone can do. You have that ability to do that. And if you just let yourself kind of dream a little bit bigger and go a little bit bigger and bolder, you can put that seed into your team as well. So not everyone is naturally, not like a visionary, but like where you can see bigger. Like I can walk into a really crummy house, like we just were selling our house, and I can see like, oh, this wall and that, we could paint, and I have this vision, and my husband's like, get me out of here. I don't want to see these people's laundry, and I can't handle it. Like that's a red wall. I'm out. I'm like, babe, it's pink. But I just naturally have that for my business as well. And so I actually have to reel myself in a lot. And Andrea is why I thank God for having her be my upline, because I'm just like big picture. I'm like fire. And she's like, wait, ready, aim, calm down. So that's been part of my like growth of like, okay, let me just, before I go running full 120% with this, like, let me do some planning. And I like how he talks about preparation and planning, because I am steering a big ship. And now there's over 700 people on my ship. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of pressure. I can't just be like fire, ready, aim. I really got to go, okay, hold on, breathe, pause. Is this a good idea? Is this a good plan? Should I really be going for this? And also always checking my my motives and, okay, is this really to get me somewhere, or is this to help my team, or is this God's bigger plan? Because for me, like, yeah, I want to go diamond and I want to have this money and I could do this for me and my family and me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whoa, pump the brakes. It's not even about me anymore, right? Like, now I get my full joy from people on my team. I don't know if you guys have had the experience of having someone on your team rank up or reach a promotion, and we're like crying full tears today on the phone with each other, like, thank you, God. It's a hard road sometimes, y'all, and sometimes it's a very lonely road. So I love that we have such an amazing supportive team to go through all this with us. So one of the biggest things I think with the law of navigation, having those big dreams and big goals, goal boards, vision boards, dream boards, and really putting that in front of your face. And here's what I know, this is why I know it works. I use them and I always reach some of the goals. The timing might not be right, but they all seem to come true. Last year I had a goal. I put in my Facebook, I'm gonna retire my husband. The Lord, man, he retired my husband from his current position and put him in another one at a different college. So technically he did retire, not on the terms I thought he would, but he retired and went to a different college where he now works at a college where he gets maybe one call a week, and it's like for graffiti in the bathroom. You guys, his other job, he was like, I just got in a shooting. I'm gonna be late. Like, he was on the streets with, like, if you've heard of the city San Bernardino, it was in the news a lot. He was right in that heart of that area. And now he's in like this beautiful college. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, these things really come true when you guys have these visions and goals and dreams. They'll come true, you guys. So I do vision boards, I put pictures, I put all the things on there, and I do a separate vision board for like a specific goal, going gold. I had my gold plan out. I knew I was gonna go gold, how many people I wanted to add, what my team goal was, had it all on a big vision board in front of my face to look at every month. And when we went to put our house on the market about 3 weeks ago, I put everything in storage. Let me tell you what happened for my business for 3 weeks, you guys. Nothing. Like you said, if no one's charting the ship, my brain, I couldn't wrap my head around what I was supposed to be doing, where I'm at, where am I going. I could not get a hold of my business for the past 3 weeks for March. I'm like, I'm failing here. I'm like, what is happening? And it's because I got rid of my whiteboard that had all my things in front of me as a vision. It had my dream boards that I looked at every morning. I'd get up in the morning. If you guys haven't read My Miracle Morning, I love that book. It talks about getting up earlier and spending time looking at your visions, at your goals, journaling, spending time in the Bible or devotion, however you meditate, affirmations, all those things. I had to put it all away for the past couple weeks, and I'm like, man, my whole business is suffering. My whole life is suffering. Everything is suffering because no one's charting the ship now. And so I kind of had to like do a big reality check last week. I got the book, which you don't need this by any means, but I needed something because all my stuff's in storage. So I got the DMO book. I don't know if you guys have this or you guys ever talk about it, DMO Success. I think it's dmosuccess.com. So that I could reel myself in. And this is awesome for me. It has the goals where you specifically write down what you're going to achieve that week, that month. I have my goals for April started. I'm starting to fill those in. And when you have stuff written down like that, your brain is wired just to follow it. And if we don't control where our brain's going, guess what does? Everybody else, society, Facebook, Instagram, the news, TV, they all take over. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you are like, whoa, let me put on my blinders, let me focus. And what am I focusing on? All the strong leaders on my team, my sideline leaders. I'm looking to them for inspiration, motivation, keeping me, making sure I'm on the course, right? Because if we go outside of that, we're going to find the negative Nancys, the Debbie Downers, the doubters, the fear, the haters, and you start getting all this noise in your head, and then it's hard to come back into it. And that's where I was in March, you guys. Honestly, when Rossi asked me to do this call, I was like, thank you, God, for the sign. Like, I need to come back to where I was, because my business was booming, you guys. We're talking, we were having January, we killed it. February, we killed it. March, it's just like died. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all me. It's all my fault. Like, I let the ship go. And we were about to crash into a volcano or whatever, an iceberg right ahead. So thank God for Miss Rossi and for God sending that. And I was like, yes, reel myself in here. So using a vision board, that's how I like to see is my map, my vision board, my goals. I like them big. Maybe you like them on your phone. I used to have a screensaver on my phone of, like, it was a big gold diamond if that was my plan. And then if it was red ruby. So every time I log on my phone, there's the red ruby. And I'm like, boom, laser focused. So whatever it is that your goals are, I had a collage also on there too. And now my thing is me and my daughter on there, because I'm trying to do a lot of balance between work and family. So I'm like, okay, I got work everywhere else. And so when I look at my phone, I'm like, balance, family, my daughter, priority, right? So I'm seeking that balance. That's kind of where I am in my vision. But to get to Senior Ruby, it was like laser focused. Rossi, can I get an amen on that one, right? So another thing is listening and learning and adapting who you are. When I started this business, y'all, I swear I thought I knew everything. I got this. I can handle it. I'd go to Andre if I had questions. But other than that, I was like, I got this. Now I'm like, please, I will take suggestions from anyone and everyone, at least from the right people. I shouldn't say anyone and everyone. Sidelines, uplines, successful people in my downline. I'm open to anything at this point. I'm like, construction criticism, like, give it all to me, because I can't do this alone. I was not born a diamond. It doesn't come naturally. So, like, for example, the Amy Paul and the Pauls did a video about how they do their events now. They have a more natural look with detox and health. And my whole thing before was all the bright pink, sparkle, glitter. And that kind of got me where I was, but that kind of got me a lot of people who were just here for the fun. And I'm like, I need some people who are here for the serious business side as well, for the health side, for the detox benefits. And I kind of had to shift my whole business towards, like, this is really about health. So when the Pauls did that video saying they do theirs with, like, very natural, like a natural booth, they have lemons and they have beetroot and they have all the things, everything out on the table. And so I was like, all right, let me adjust. Let me change my business. We can still reach the goal, but I'm going to change my course a little bit. So the next event we did, we had all the things out. We had the table spread. I don't know if you saw the picture on Bridget's page of it's like cutting boards, and we had mint there. We had lemons there. Everything was very natural. I think at that event, Alexa and her team signed 6 people. And that was huge for us, where I was like, okay, we've got to be open to being more into this health side as well. And so for us, it's about being adjustable with how you do things, being open to new things, not being like, my way, the highway, this is how we're doing it. If it's not pink and sparkly, I'm out of here. Like, no, like, be open, especially if Rossi or Darcy is saying, try this, here's a suggestion, like, amen. I'm like, please bring it on. Suggest away, sister. Like, tell me. I would love to hear it. So being open while you're still navigating and going. And also when you let your team kind of give you suggestions and help you out, that's a true sign of a leader there, when they're like, hey, I'm not in this alone. We're all in this ship. So if you have a suggestion or something for me, please feel free to share what your wisdom is, because we all have gifts that we bring to this. So I love to have that whole group of, like, everyone, please share your gifts. Okay, listening, learning. How's my time? I can go on and on, you know. Okay. Okay, oh my gosh, this is great. So I've been thinking and pondering about this so much, and I was like, gosh, so some people, it's just kind of hard to have that vision or that future. Like, what if you're brand new? It's easy if you're a Senior Ruby to say, oh, we can all do this. But if you're brand new, like, how do you speak that life into people? How do you have that vision? And I was watching the Three Musketeers, the Mickey Mouse version, with my daughter, and they're trying to be musketeers and they can't. You know, Pete's like, you'll never be a musketeer, negative, negative, negative. And Mickey's like, that's going to be us someday, guys, you know? And I'm just like, that's it. It's just speaking life and speaking that vision into life for your team and your people, and speaking that life of, we can do this, or let's get to silver, or what if we could be stay-at-home moms with our kids? What if we could make enough to pay the car payment, or to pay our dental bill, or whatever it is? Like, what if? And it's possible. And just being like, hey, I just started, but let's do it together, friend. Like, what if we could do this? What if we could really build a business? Like, I see my friend doing it. I see someone else doing it. Like, why not us? Why can't we? And just that is enough of a visionary. And people are like, yeah, I see that vision too. Let's do something. Let's go for it. So you don't have to have it already in your hands. It's like the Santa Claus theory. Like, you believe it first. You don't have to see him to believe it. You believe it, right? And so for diamond, it's like, you got to believe it first. You got to believe that it can happen first before you'll become a diamond. And you can ask any diamond, like, did you believe you're going to become a diamond? And you bet they're going to be like, yep, I believed I was going to be a diamond. It doesn't just magically happen. So if you believe, like, I'm going to go silver, I'm doing it. You can either come with me or you can watch me, but we're going. Like, I believe it. I'm all in. Let's do this. And I'm telling you guys, that vision and that belief, that's your navigation. Like, if you're not there yet, that's the island you're heading for. Like, speak it out, put it into life, breathe life into it, and breathe life into your team, and watch everyone else catch that vision and come with you. Because not everyone is born naturally being like a leader and being able to have the vision. So your job as a leader is to speak that life into them and grow that part for them and help them learn that side for them. So that, you know, when someone on my team is struggling and I'm like, it is going to happen. This is it. This is the month. We're doing it. We're going to have faith in God that he's a powerful God, and you are going to go senior gold. And my girl went senior gold today, and we both cried because she wasn't going to push for it. She's like, I don't know. Maybe it's not my month. It's not my time. And we're like, we're just both being so afraid right now. You have the people, you have the team. Let's go for it. And I'll tell you, honestly, part of me was like, okay, what if she doesn't? Like, then I'm like a bad leader. I'm like, no, you got this, girl. And then she doesn't get it. And I'm like, okay, sorry, next month. But I was like, no, that's fear getting in me too. So I'm like, let's just be bold together. And we locked arms and we got bold, and we're like, it's happening. And it happened for her. And I'm like, thank you, God. And that's it. And little things like that keep happening. And then your faith and belief, you know, stacks on stacks on stacks. And that's how you get to diamond, y'all. Okay. Reel me in, Rossi. Miracle morning, faith, speaking life. Anyone can. Oh, I always like the saying too, it's okay to be a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat. And that's the same thing for getting advice and wisdom from people as well. You want to make sure it's the right cat you're going to copy. So you look to someone who's already successful in this business or another business. I remember in the beginning of my business, the doubters and haters, and I would, when they would tell me something, I'd pause, I'd hold back, and I'd go, okay, where's their ship going? What island are they on? Where did they crash land? And do I really want their advice, right? So if someone's going to tell me advice, I'm like, oh, thank you so much for that. Bless and release. Unless they're like, oh, I see their ship. Their ship's going to diamond. Thank you for the advice. I'll take it. So make sure whoever you're listening to also is navigating a great course as well. Even if they're not plexus, as long as they're navigating a great course in life and you know, character and all these great qualities, those are the people you want to emulate. And optimism, that's a huge thing about being a leader and leading by example as well. So they say to navigate your course, people are going to follow your team based on what you do. It's like your parents say, do as I say, not as I do, but what do? We do what they do. So you can only tell your team so much, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. It's going to go in when you're out the other. But if you're doing that and you're being that leader and you're charting that course for yourself, guess what? They're like, well, that's my leader. She's doing that. I'm doing that. And we have these great leaders above us that have done amazing things that we can just totally emulate and copy what they've done and follow that same course, right? Like they're like at the harbor with like the light on for us. Y'all, we just need to like focus and get to the light, right? Like they've charted this course for us. They do events for us. They do trainings for us, all these amazing things for us. So like you're saying, we don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. We don't need to go just keeping it simple and being optimistic and excited about it. And I want to touch on optimism because I think this is a huge, I mean, that's John Maxwell will preach on optimism all day long about how important it is for your business and being a positive person. Some people think maybe I'm just not optimistic, or I'm not that way, or I'm not that positive, or that's not me. You can have all the excuses in the book. Those are all excuses, y'all, because optimism is a choice, and happiness is a choice, and being positive is a choice. You can look at your amazing leader, Rossi, over here. I'm sure when she was 7 kids living in a trailer, struggling, her husband's working so hard, all this struggle, I'm sure she was like, nope, I'm gonna have a good, she had all the reasons to not be happy. She had all the reasons to be angry and mad and mean, but I'm sure she spent her time like, nope, I'm just gonna be optimistic about it. Like, well, it's another beautiful day out. Thank you, God, for another beautiful day, right? Optimism is totally a choice. And I think sometimes people might look at me and be like, well, That's fine. Your life's perfect. You've never had to deal with this, that, and the other. This, y'all, if you would hear some of the stories of stuff that I've been through in my life, thank God that I'm even still alive. And I always choose this. This is what I say. Anyone who has hurt me in the past or done something to me that should have crushed me and just killed my soul, I go, I refuse to let that person have any power over the rest of my life, period. No matter what they've done. And I've seen the wrath of some nasty people. And when it's all said and done, I'm like, that does not get to affect the rest of my life. That's it. And they've done some serious, and guess what? They're still nasty, gross, horrible people doing their thing. And I'm like, too bad. They don't get to bring me down. I'm done with them. I get to keep rising up and keep being positive and keep living this amazing, blessed life. They have no more power, control, or say in anything in my future, period. And I just don't give them life. I don't give them any life. So you guys, if you can look at any situation you have going in your life and be like, that's it. I'm not going to let them have any life over my future or my business or my just life in general. And free yourself from that. You're going to find like, oh my gosh, the weight of the world is gone. I feel so free. And that's how you're going to like run your business, just like full force, super optimistic, just going forward. Like, let's do this. Yes. So everyone should just, and the more optimistic you are every single day, the more you get every single day. It's like, it builds on itself. It's like how Candida feeds on itself. Optimism feeds on itself too, y'all. So you just practice it every single day. It's like a habit. And once you keep doing it, you're like, man, life is good. Okay. I can go on and on. Where are we at? Time, questions. Let me look at my Fitbit. 5:30. Do you want me to open it up for questions really quick or anything? Or talk to me. I need feedback.
Yeah, you're so awesome. Thank you so much. I thought of a couple of things, and then yes, we'll open it up for questions. A few things come to my mind, like that the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. We hear that all of the time. What rang true, I'm homeschool mom here. What rang true for me is that it's so true with this boat mentality because they're on our ship. You know, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. Our team is on our ship, you know, so if we're not moving, they're not moving, you know. The other thing, optimism is contagious. It really is, you know. Seeing the best in people, seeing the best in circumstances, making the best. It's also being grateful and content with every situation that God brings your way, you know, being content with that. I learned a huge lesson starting this. I'm a debater. My mom says it all the time. I should have been on a debate team. I'm a debater. I like to debate. Well, some kind of freedom happened when when I started Plexus, and you get all of the negative Nancy's and every ingredient they're researching and coming on, and I'm debating them and I'm coming back at them with stuff. And Bridget's like, don't waste your time. Hit the delete button. Just delete. Like, freedom happened. They're not going to buy product from me. You know, I'm not blocking them because they still need to see what I'm putting out there. But I'm going to delete their negative comments and just not even give it any life, not offer them any of my life, investing any of my life on those negative things. So I get that optimism is contagious, and it's necessary. It's necessary. We are infusing people with whatever we're oozing. You know, what we ooze is what we infuse. So when you want to infuse your team with good things, ooze good things, good, you know, being supportive to your team. I know that feeling when last month, you know, here it was like that moment where it was a humbling, so humbling. I cried all day long. My kids thought something was wrong, but going senior Ruby and then talking on the phone with Mandy, and she was so close to gold. And it was the same thing, huh, Mandy? You remember? I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I didn't know if I could go senior Ruby. We're both kind of like that, but we're just like, you know what? God knows the outcome, but we're going to not go down without a fight. You know, we're going to try, and we're going to do everything that we can. And we were positive, and we were calling people, and we were doing everything. And it's kind of, it's scary not knowing what the outcome is, because so many times I did try for a rank, and, you know, it just wasn't the Lord's timing. But each time I know that I didn't go down without doing everything that I could to, you know, reach that goal, shoot as many arrows as I could at a time to reach that goal, you know. So I thought of those couple of things. And then the you know, again, we don't know exactly where we're going to end, but we can put diamond in our goal or as our goal or whatever the next rank is, emerald for me. And I can say, you know, because I just don't know, I'm just going to stay here. Well, we have to take those steps. If you don't start moving, if you don't start aiming, if you don't start steering, you're really just going to go nowhere. So, you know, if you don't move, you don't go anywhere. So keep moving, keep planning, keep putting those steps and doing the next thing. You know, I think we get complacent or especially hitting a rank. That's Linda and I were talking about this the other day. Once you hit that rank and then you sit back the next day and you're like, oh, it's going to take me so long to get to the next one. And you almost don't even want to try. You're just, I'll save that for tomorrow. But you can't stop. Just keep going and keep going. And anyway, so those were a couple of thoughts as you were talking. I just love hearing you because you are just like the Energizer bunny rabbit.
It's all Plexus. It's all Plexus.
I love it. Does anybody have any questions for Cheryl? She's so good. Ask away about her lists, her dream boards, you know, all of that stuff, because she really is she can't show them, but they.
Yeah, I could, I'll find pictures of them, or when I get them out of storage, I'll post them onto your team pages so you guys can see. And I get detailed, you guys. Like, I put exactly how many people I want to add on my team, like for the next month. I'm like, team will add this much. My sales will be this much. Team sales will be at least this much. Just to give your brain a clear thing to go to. Honestly, our brain is literally wired like a computer. You just tell it where to go. And the advertising industry knows this already, so they already like know how to shoot stuff in it. Like, look at your Facebook, all the ads all the time. Like they tell us where to go and what to do, what to buy. And you're like, hold on, pump the brakes. Like, I'm trying to get something with Plexus here. Like, let me focus. So I make sure it's like very detailed. Like something vague, like going emerald, that's not going to get me emerald, you guys. It's like, okay, I need to get my team this amount of people, and I need to be reaching out to this amount of people to get there to do my part. And so hopefully it trickles down that my whole team is doing their part. But I try to carry most of the weight on my shoulders for my team. I'm sure all the leaders on here feel like I don't ever sit back and go, well, if my team could add 100, then I'll add 5. Like, no. I'm like, can I please try to add 100? And hopefully my team adds 5. And usually it works the opposite of that, obviously. But I try to carry all the weight on my shoulders as the leader of like, I truly want to be the one who adds the most, who does the most, who works the hardest. And my team keeps me on my toes. I never am the top person anymore. I don't know why, because they're amazing. But I put those down. And then also to help your team navigate, if you don't really know what to do, there's tons of things like we'll do like a silver and 7, you know, on the team page, or I started a thread, and this seems to be helping a little bit too. Like anyone who's going for silver, I put them in a silver thread. And when I find a video that could help them, I'll post it on that thread. A thread is like a group message with all the people. So I have like a silver thread for my team, and I have a gold, senior gold thread. And so now those ones today that went gold and senior gold on that thread, everyone's rooting them on, cheering for them. They were doing a countdown with points, and they all rallied together. And these are all kind of like sidelines, right? So it doesn't really affect either one or the other. And they're rooting for each other, and it's just this camaraderie. And they see it happen for them, and they're like, okay, I need to go there. And they'll reach out to each other like, what'd you do to get to gold? What'd you do? How'd you get there? Help me. And they're building each other up. And so you're building leaders in your team as well. So I love the silver message thread and the gold message thread. I'm gonna have to probably start a ruby one here pretty soon. But that's kind of even more important than a team page. On a team page, a lot of times you get lost in the shuffle, and as your team grows, it might get lost in the shuffle. So having a thread, even if you're brand new, if you're a silver and you only have 3 people under you, do a silver thread really quick and just check in with everyone. Hey, how's everyone doing? Just checking on you guys, and just you'll see that they'll start to make some friendships with each other too, and kind of help each other, and they'll get connected with your team more and connected with your page, and they'll stick around longer. So we're really trying to make those connections, because especially once you get a bigger team, like I have over 700, there's no way I can have a conversation every day with 700 people. It would be impossible. So I'm like, okay, well then at least let my leaders be connecting with their teams. So I have to try really hard to connect with all my leaders so that they all connect with their team and their leaders. What else? Anybody? Any questions? Sorry.
And it comes down to that age-old saying, right? Plan the work and work the plan. Like, you know, I think we forget all those things, or they just become cliches, but they're so true. You know, you can't just expect like you said, it's not magic. You have to move, you have to plan, you have to do, you have to train, you have to instill, you have to grow, you have to, you know, all these things that we have to do. And I do get stuck in sometimes in a thing to just, well, we'll just see what happens, you know? And that's so wrong, because I've just got to keep moving or I'm going to go nowhere. So
it's okay. You know, I want to say how Jim Rohn, I don't know if you guys ever watch Jim Rohn's speaking. He's an older public speaker, and a lot of his motivation stuff is like on like a chalkboard. But he says the same thing, you know, for growing and personal growth and everything, and how, you know, without the winter, there's going to be spring. And so when you have those down times, like our team for March, that was our winter. And I had to just tell my leaders, like, look, that was our winter. We all got to grow with it. We all got to just stay positive and stay encouraged and motivated, because we just had a winter. This was a slow month for us. And that's it. It's ending today. It's ending tomorrow. In April, we are back into spring. We are back into life. So it's okay to have those slow times and those hard times, because then that makes us remember, oh my gosh, I need to get back into the swing of things. I need to get going. I need to get full force. I need to do it. And now I'm like, even for myself, I'm back like 120%. Like I said, I'm like, I am all in. But I had a little bit of winter, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, this isn't a cruise control business, you know? This is an actual, like, I'm climbing up a mountain. But I love to say that we're climbing up this mountain, but it's more like a rainbow, and at the end there's a pot of gold. Like, so I'm like, I'll climb up a rainbow. Look at the, oh, there's a unicorn. Like, I'm totally cool to climb up this mountain, and I love bringing people along with me. I'm like, let's go. This is awesome. I love this company.
Yeah, and I think too, sometimes we want somebody to tell, you know, I am not a natural leader. So I'm kind of a follower by nature. I like to lead in certain areas, but in this kind of stuff, I'm like, just tell me what to do. So I think a lot of times that's where we go. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it, or make me a plan and I'll do it. Well, really, the actual plan is not what gets us there, because how many times are we changing things and arranging things and doing it different and trying something new? Really, it's just working the plan, doing something and keep going, you know, and not just expect I get this a lot. What did you do to get to, you know, Ruby or Senior Ruby? And I'm sure you get it too a lot, right? And I almost can't tell people, you know, because, and Bridget, you know, the way we're ranking is totally different. The way Rhonda's ranking, totally different. It's really not about the actual plan. It's that you made a plan and you started working it, you know? So not to get stuck in that, sit down and write down. I know, like, Mom and I were sitting down and trying to make a business plan for her and for me. You know, she's kind of my running buddy, helping me go. And so, you know, we did what you did. Like, this is how many people we need to add each month. This is what we need to do. This is how we need this amount of money. So this is the areas we're going to get that money for pay points. We need to have our PV here. We need to, you know, and so building that business plan, and you're not going to get that magic answer. You can ask 500 people and not get what's going to work for you. It's not the actual plan. It's that you make one and you do it, you know? So I think that's very important for people to know also, and to remember that it's nothing magic. It's just doing something.
Yeah, totally. The reaching out and talking to people and the communication and putting yourself out there, that's the basics of our business, is reaching out to people and asking them if they want to try it or if they want to hear about it. That's like our foundation. So we can spend hours planning a plan and a plan and a plan, but if you're not doing anything, I like to tell people too, I'm like, I'd rather have ignorance on fire. Like, I'd rather have you have no idea what you're doing and just have ignorance on fire, and I messaged 500 people and I just said, I'm doing Plexus, I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. Like, I'd rather have that than someone who's like, nope, I need it down to a perfect plan, and then I'll start. Like, no, just go, just do it and fail forward and do it. And because it's the same thing. If someone says, well, how did you get to Senior Ruby? Every single day I just reached out to everybody, and in the beginning I had no idea what I was doing, but I just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it every single day. And that's life, right? It's what we do every single day that adds towards it. So I have to say, like, we're living life this way, like we're going on this path. some people gain weight, right? And they don't gain it overnight. So they're on a path of like gaining weight. So like say they're on this path of gaining weight. And like with Plexus, I'm like, you've been on this path of gaining weight for 3-4 years. Let's get you on the path where you're losing weight, right? So now you're on the losing weight path. Give yourself the time to do it. It's like you have 2 paths in life, the gain weight or the lose weight. So on the Plexus path, you have the Plexus, I'm going forward with my business, or the Plexus, I'm not. And it's just every day, whatever you're doing. So if you're going forward with your business and you're like, yeah, I'm on it, I'm jamming, I'm reaching out, I'm doing whatever. I don't see the seeds of it yet, but that's the path I'm on. Every day I'm reaching out. Every day I'm posting. Every day I'm doing something. Every day I'm talking to someone in public, or I'm leaving a sample, or I'm doing whatever it is for you. You're like, yep, I'm on that path. Or if your business is like this, you're like, haven't really done much. I've been planning and planning and planning, and then all of a sudden you've been in for 3 or 4 months. You're like, this isn't for me. I don't get it. But it's like, well, what have you been doing for 100 days, like every single day? If you spent 20 minutes a day and 100 days, that's a lot of time, right? So get yourself on the path that's going this way with Plexus. And if you want to go this way with Plexus, like the path that Bridget set for us, then you got to do more than 20 minutes a day. You got to do like an hour or 2 or 3, whatever it takes, right? As long as your path is going up.
That's so good. That's so good. Anyone else have any questions?
I do. So going back to the whole, because I am that planner, I'm working really hard at not, always needing to have the perfect plan, but just doing. But when you set your goals of, I need to reach this many people a day, how many in your mind is that, or I need to add this many people this month, how many people in your mind is it that you need to reach out to a day to get that amount? And kind of going along with that one, for you, reaching out, does that always mean reaching out about Plexus, or is that starting new relationships? Like what is usually your goal on starting new relationships and reaching out for the business?
Awesome question. I love that question. How long have you been in, or what rank are you at, or how many people are on your team? So I can kind of let you know where I was during that time in my business.
Well, it took me 7 months to go silver. And then I am still, I think this month I'm 30, almost 35 points. It's been a long month, like you said, but I did a huge expo, and then I didn't reach out to I'm working on that whole list of 160 some people right now.
So 35 points, how many people are on your team then, roughly? I'm going to guess 40 or I don't even know what, I'm sorry.
No, those are only levels 1 through 3, I think. So I think I've got about 14, but not all on.
Okay, so I'm going to think back to about a year ago when I had 20 or 25 on my team. What it looked like for me was I used to preach about commenting on people's photos all the time. Like I was going to make a shirt that said comment and like, because that gets you in everyone's newsfeed. And that's what I ran my business off of. I commented on every single photo I could. And I know that's not technically considered IPA, but for me, my idea was I'm going to get in everyone's head. I'm going to get in their newsfeed. I'm going to get in their posts, and they're going to see my face in that little tiny square multiple times, over and over and over and over. And I will tell you what, my whole business, and then when I would reach out to someone, it's almost like we'd already been talking for a couple weeks or a month, because they're like, I've been commenting so much. It's like we've been friends. In social media world, that you get in their head, and so then you message them, and I'm like, hey girlie, I just wanted to reach out to you. And they're like, hey friend, like getting in their head. So for you, I would say at that point in your business, if you sit down ever to just scroll on Facebook or Instagram when you have like, you're going potty or something, honestly, comment on every single photo you can. I'm not kidding you. Comment, and go to your friends list and go through and comment before you even try to grow your network. I know they preach on growing your network, add 20, add 50, but you already have a network right now in front of you. I want to make sure you're in their face first. Like get in their feed, get in their face. So when you do post, they're seeing it, and they're going to start seeing more Plexus posts. They're going to start following you. You're going to comment on everything, and you're going to figure out a way to make it a comment from the heart. Like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite place in the whole world to go. I can't wait to go back there. Or where is this? I would love to go hiking here. We are such big hikers. How long have you guys been hiking? Like a genuine comment. Like now my thing's so big, I'll comment like emojis and stuff too. So I'm like, okay, I love you, girl emoji. Like but the whole first 6 months of my business, I literally commented all the time to grow that communication with everybody. So that should be part of your IPA. And I don't know if Rossi or Darcy are agreeing with or not, but I think that should be part of your IPA, because you can only reach out so many times if they keep ignoring you. You got to get in their feed somehow. You've got to get in their news feed. You've got to get in their head a little bit more. And you got to make sure you're posting every single day on social media, 3 to 5 times a day. I would post 3 to 5 times a day, and I would do, there's the 6 F's. You could do fun, family, friendship, food, fashion, and face. I could comment that later. If you can't think of stuff to post, go through that list. Be like, okay, fashion, I'll post a cute shirt that I found. And a lot of times I'll post shirts that I find on like Pinterest or something, and I'm like, I need this shirt, or this is so me, or this was me last week, or whatever. Posting all the time, because like I'm sure you already know, you don't get seen all the time on all your posts. So you got to make sure that you are posting often. And I'll even go back to my post, and I'll comment on my post a couple days later, so it pops up in the feed again. So if you want your post to get re-seen, go comment on your own post, or go comment on what someone else commented on your own post, and go like your own post again. But commenting on other people's posts on Facebook and Instagram, huge. Second, reaching out. When I was building my whole entire business, I'll tell you, I was reaching out to probably like 20 people a day. And that could be not always Plexus. It could be just reaching out to old friends or family. Especially like on Instagram, if you go through the stories at the top, I'm sure if Rossi and Darcy can cover this a little bit more, but the stories at the top, if someone posts something, I will send them a message from that too, and just be like, oh my God, so cute, or I love this. And you get back in their feed again. So going through the stories is an easy way to comment people, and you have an excuse to send them a message because it's about their post. So that gets you kind of like a conversation starter that's not Plexus. Anytime you see someone post anything like they bought a new car, bought a new house, had a new baby, this, that, and the other, comment on it, and then send them a message too. Like, get on that messenger. Oh my gosh, girl, your baby, I cannot believe it. I'm just so happy for you. She's beautiful. Get in their head, get in those messages, start those relationships. And you can build relationships on social media, you guys. You can build them. You can build them through voice messenger when people hear your voice. You really can. I have people I've never even met that signed up today from like messaging. So another thing though, like I said, Rachel, you got to get excited about Plexus. You got to just, because some people might just buy Plexus or join Plexus from you just because you're excited about it. My first 3 to 6 months, I didn't really even understand our whole gut health and the candida and getting the body healthy. Like, I was still learning all that, you guys. I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm like, I feel amazing. You should feel amazing too. Let's do this. Or we're doing a business. Like, and I put a vision out there for myself as well. I said, I'm going to stay home with my daughter. That's my goal. That's my vision. And I put it out there. I put it on my social media. I talked about it. I talked about working from home, working from my phone, even when I was a silver, even before I even had anything under my belt to say, you can make $1 million at this. You know, like, I didn't have that. Like, I would think like it must be easy for a diamond to walk in and say, this is a great business if you want to like have an actual business, make money. Like, okay, easy for you, you're a diamond, right? Like, what about the rest of us where it's like we don't have that yet? But I casted that vision, and that's part of the navigation, is having that vision of what it could be. So putting it out there, like, I have a huge plan to be able to pay the mortgage on my house, and I'm not stopping till I get there. And I want to have enough money to donate a certain amount to the church every single month, and I cannot wait to be able to do that. Put these visions out there on your page, cast them out there, because you might not know some mom laying in bed at night like, yeah, I want to be able to do that too. It's possible with this business. Is it possible? And then they're like, hey girl, okay, what are you doing? I want to know, or I want to do that. And putting that out there and just being excited about it, because it is possible and it can happen. And when it does happen, you're like, hey, it happens. But if you are like, I'm in it to win it, and I have that goal, and you have those goals written down and it's on your board, or you're like, I'm going gold, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go gold in, let's see, it's April, or it's going to be April. There's a huge push you can jump on for the month of April and get your team on. That's the list of 200 names for April. I don't know if you guys are doing that. You are. Writing down those 200 names, having that by April 1st, which means you have essentially today and tomorrow to have that list of 200. And those can be follow-ups as well. It's not all new people on that list. It could be follow-ups that you're going to be very intentional with, because for me right now in my business, I've reached out to probably 1,000 people, and some people just don't ever respond. And I get that too, where it's just like you see the message bubble and they never respond, like paragraph after paragraph, or like voice message after voice message and nothing. Those people are still on my list. If they've ever reached out to me about Plexus, or if they've ever commented on a post or liked a post or even said, what is that? Or tiny bit of curiosity, they stay on the list. So my list of 200 is going to probably be mostly follow-ups at this point, because I have at least 200 people that I'm like, I can still be following up with all these people. So for you, if you have 200 people, maybe 100 is follow-ups for you and 100 is all new people, and you're going to work that all April. And they say, okay, 200, that breaks down to 7 a day. No. 200 can break down to 20 a day, and you're repeating it every other week. Like, so it's 200 people, but it could be 1,000 reach outs by the time you get through all of it. And that's up to you. Like, what do you want to do with your business in April? Like, it's all in your hands at this point. And I promise you, if you go, okay, husband, friend, sister, somebody hold me accountable here. April, I'm going to do a huge push. I told my husband, I told my daughter, I said, it's going to be a crazy month. I'm going to push like crazy. There's going to be times I'm going to have to leave and go to the coffee shop to get work done. And if you're like, that's it, I'm doing it, and you commit and you put yourself to that, and you're doing the 20 people a day, and say you miss a day, then you're like, the next day I'm doing 40, right? And you're just like, I'm in it to win it. I like to do it where you do 6 days and give yourself Sunday off so you don't get burnt out. So if that's 20 a day and then Sunday you rest, that's fine. If you commit to that for April, I promise you that's going to trickle down to your whole team. They're going to see like, what is going on? This girl got a fire lit in her, like something's happening. I can tell she's on fire. Your business is going to explode, and it's going to start to explode in May and in June and in July. And if you could keep that momentum going, and in April, you're like, wow, we did this. I did it. I accomplished it. I reached my goal, and I'm starting to see people are wanting to do this and join me. And then May, you're like, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep being on fire. I think you'll start to see a huge explosion for your business. And don't get discouraged by who's already gold or who's not, or how long it took you to go silver. Like I noticed, Rachel, when you said like it took you 7 months to go silver, the way you said that was as if that is a long time, right? Like, do you feel like that took a long time or no? No, because I would say it's like 0.5% of the company or something, right? Like less than 5% of the company is silver. So out of 400,000 people, there's like 350,000 of them that would love to be silver. Love to be silver, that can't even get to silver. So the fact that you even got to silver, girl, you need to be like, boom, pat myself on the back, let's do this, 35 points. Like, that is a huge feat. So flip your mindset and start being proud of everything you're doing, being like, that's it, I'm going. I've already got silver, I'm about to get gold, I'm about to do this, and really just get going, girlfriend, because I can't tell you how many people on my team couldn't even get to silver and just quit. They wouldn't even stick around. I'm like, you're right there, you're right at the tip of it, like it's gonna happen, and they can't do it, and you're doing it. So that's huge. That's a huge accomplishment. Silver is huge, and I'm so excited for you, and I think you pushing in April for your team, I can see you going gold in like no time.
Thank you so much. And if nobody else has a question, you can, you or Rossi can answer this. But Rossi, what you're saying, just delete the negativity, the debating, because I'm that person who I know all the health stuff, but I don't always know how to explain it right. So like, what for you was it? I don't know. Are there a certain type of people that you share with, or you keep trying to work with, or I don't know, I've got somebody specific in mind right now who she's, why can't you just do it with food type of thing, which was used to be my mindset. So I don't know if that's something that I should just ignore now, because it did, I ignored it for a couple of days because it took up some time, but, or do I just keep, trying to explain, because I can't tell if she's baiting me or if she's really curious.
Yeah. Usually I'll delete their comment, and then I will go and leave them a message and just say, if you're really interested in hearing, what Plexus is and why I believe in it, I'll share some information with you, and I'll take it that way. I won't even address their question, because usually that diffuses it right away, because for some reason they're feeling like they want to comment and make a scene, kind of. Sometimes it really is just kind of a jab and they're ignorant and don't know. And so I don't address their question. I just say, hey, if you're interested in learning more about plexus, I'm happy to share a bunch of information with you. Can you give me your email address or whatever? Can I call you on the phone? So that's where I go with that. I do not address it on my feed anymore, because I'm like, my place is a happy place, and we're keeping happy things on there. And so I don't address it on there at all. I'll just leave them a message, but I usually don't address their direct question. I just ask if they're really interested in hearing about the product. So that's how I handle those negative Nancy's. Some of them, if it's a repeat offender, I just blow it off. I just delete it and carry on. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but anyway.
As far as if they could just eat a diet instead of plexus, I like to tell people, like, sure, if you can organically grow all your fruits and vegetables and know exactly where they come from, and grass-fed, everything, no hormones, nothing, make sure there's no pesticides in the ground anywhere, all your food and your water, make sure you're testing it to make sure there's nothing, no chemicals, everything in your water. If you could do that and follow that diet and never eat processed food, never be on antibiotics, not have any stress in your life, not have any caffeine going in your body, then fine, maybe you're the one person that doesn't need plexus. Maybe. And I have yet to meet a person who is like, that's me. Because you guys, when I started, I was like the healthiest diet you could possibly imagine, working out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, and I needed plexus. I didn't even know I needed it. So when someone tells me that, I'm like, you could. I'd like to see you do that for the rest of your life. And you could be miserable and do that, or you could be happy like me and take the supplements. Like, you choose.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to keep talking on because I know I take it forever. So I will.
No, you're awesome. I'm so thankful. And we just hit 6 o'clock, so we'll probably round it out. But if you guys have any questions, once Mom posts this on the team page, if you have any questions for Cheryl, just ask in there, and I'll make sure she gets on the team page or whatever. We'll make sure she gets those questions so she can answer them for you. So I'm so thankful for you, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing and investing. Love you, and can't wait.
Love you, Cheryl.
Emerald promotion.
I can't wait to see you in Montana.
Yes. Oh, so exciting. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you later. Have a
Love
good
you.